Okay, we are live. Today we're going to talk about seventh chords and how we can use seventh chords when we're playing modal jazz and improvising and just playing around. So I'm going to switch and go to the overhead view. Leave a comment. Let me know if you can hear me. Let me know if you can hear the piano, the keyboard. So we're going to go to the overhead view right now. Okay, we're at the overhead view now. So can everyone hear that? We are going to be talking about seventh chords today and talking about how we can use seventh chords in modal jazz. And then we'll take some Christmas songs and we will start to improvise and play around. So this is modal jazz, and we'll talk more about that. Modal jazz is characterized by seventh chords being used with the modes and we can go into any key. So we're playing seventh chords is what we are playing. Let's see. Yes, I can hear you. I can hear you. Sounds good. Good sync. Perfect. Okay. Good. That is what we want to hear. So what I'd like to do first off, I'm going to, in this book, 100 Left-Hand Patterns, I want to take a Christmas song and I'm going to show you how we can jazz it up doing modal jazz. And so, for fun, let's see. Deck the halls, joy to the world, jingle bells, jolly old St. Nicholas up on the housetop. Let's choose one of these. Oh, Christmas tree, silent night, angels we have heard on high. These are all in the key of C, and we're just going to embellish. We'll take one of these. Let's go over to maybe up on the housetop, just for fun. Okay, just so we can see. And I'm doing this on page 61. We'll do Up on the Housetop from my book, 100 Left-Hand Patterns. It's in fake book format. We're going to embellish it and play it as modal jazz. Now, when I'm talking about the modes, I'm referring to C Ionian, D Dorian, E Phrygian, F Lydian, G Mixolydian, A Aeolian, B Locrian, C Ionian. Think of modes as scales within a scale. If I'm in the key of C major, I have no black keys. I'm just doing white keys, so I have no sharps, no flats. Well, if I start and go from C to C, that is C Ionian. If I start and go from D to D, I'm actually going to be playing D Dorian. If I go from E to E and play all white keys, I'm playing E Phrygian. If I go from F to F, I'm playing F Lydian. If I'm going from G to G, I'm playing G Mixolydian. If I'm going from A to A, I'm playing A Aeolian. These are all white keys. If I'm going from B to B, I'm playing B Locrian. And then if I go from C to C, I'm back with C Ionian. What we're going to do is play seventh chords with my left hand. See this? Let's see, Clark. So do modes only correspond to seventh chords? Can modes be used with the triads? Modes can be used with the triads. If I'm doing this, generally what I like to think of is if I'm just doing a triad, instead of using all of the notes from the mode, I would just use the pentascale, the 5 notes. So watch, C major triad corresponding with the C major pentascale. And this is just a good way to start. And I'm only using the pentascale with the triad. Now you can go on, but true modal jazz is where I have seventh chords, either with one hand or another, and I'm improvising with the modes. They don't need to be in root position. I could do different inversions. But I would need to know the inversions and what the chord is. So if I'm using a major seventh as an example, I'm going to play a C major scale. This is Ionian. If I'm playing a D minor seventh chord with my left hand, I'm going to play D dorian with my right hand. And I can improvise with those notes. If I'm playing an E minor seventh chord, I can use E Phrygian. If I'm using F major seventh, I can go from F to F and use F Lydian. If I'm doing a G seventh chord with my left hand, I can go from G to G and play G Mixolydian. And I can start to throw in accidentals here and there if I want. A minor seventh corresponds with A Aeolian. I can play B minor seventh flat the fifth, which corresponds with my B Locrian mode. And many times when you start understanding how these work together, I could start to do different seventh chords moving up. What if I did C major seventh, D minor seventh, E minor seventh, F major seventh? But I primarily stayed just with C to C. Now I'm primarily sticking with C Ionian, but my left hand is doing the changing. Now I could start with D minor seventh and play D Dorian. D Ionian would be with 2 sharps, F sharp and C sharp. To create the Dorian mode from any Ionian, which is your major scale, D Ionian is just D major, I would take my 3rd and my 7th down half a step. F sharp and C sharp, my 3rd and 7th. If I go down half a step, now I'm playing all white keys. This is D Dorian. So watch, if I'm on C, and I take my 3rd and my 7th intervals, and I go down half a step, now I have E flat and B flat. So now, if I go from C to C, but I have E flat and B flat, this is C dorian. See, now we're pretending like we're in the key of B flat major. B flat, C flat D, E flat F, G, A, B flat. I don't play like my Aunt Louise. This would be B flat Ionian. Don't, this would be C dorian. Play, this would be D Phrygian. Like, E flat Lydian. My, F Mixolydian. Aunt, G Aeolian, which is the relative minor to B flat major. And then Louise would be my Locrian, back to B flat Ionian. So now I could go from C Ionian to C dorian. See that? How I have C, E flat, G, B flat. Okay? Oh, Denise, you are using terms I have never heard. What is Ionian mode? So, the modes actually, and if you go back into history, modes have been around for hundreds and hundreds of years. Even if we go back into the Gregorian chants, this goes back clear to Pope Gregory. Pope Gregory, medieval time periods, he was one of the first popes to actually incorporate and start having a school of music, where that's where we get Gregorian chants. It's named after Pope Gregory with the Gregorian modes. So they started incorporating and teaching modes as a way to organize the system. Now, modes gained in popularity, of course, during Baroque periods, where they started focusing primarily on the major and the minor, getting into the relative minor, harmonic minor, natural minor. As we started getting into jazz music, jazz musicians started taking the modes and creating and playing around. Modes are just scales within a scale. If I have C major is my major scale. It's my major mode. It's Ionian. Think of these 8 right here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Each individual tone is a starting point. So C major is actually C Ionian mode. That is the major. Primarily, when we're growing up and we are learning how to play, we learn how to play the major scale, and we learn how to play the minor scale. The relative minor, or natural minor in this case, is A minor. That is actually Aeolian mode. Sometimes, if we had a really good teacher, they would teach us how to play the natural minor, the harmonic minor, and the melodic minor, where we would learn A minor, all white keys, and then we would learn how to play the harmonic minor, where we raise the 7th going up and coming down, and then the melodic minor, well, I'll do it on C, so it's easier for you to understand. C major, okay? C minor, I flat the 3rd and the 7th. See that? That's my minor right there. Very simple. I just took the 3rd and 7th and I flat it. Aeolian mode is the natural minor. Well, if we then take and raise that 7th from the natural minor, this becomes harmonic minor. See, if I'm on A, that I go up and come back down. And all I'm doing is playing that going up and down. Well, I could play the melodic minor, where we sharp the 6th and 7th when you go up, and then you play the naturals when you come down. Those are scales, but they're modes, but we only learn major and minor. Well, as you learn more and study more in depth, then you start to learn C major, D minor, E minor, F major, okay? Now and I'm not talking about F major scale, I'm talking about the modes C Ionian, D Dorian, E Phrygian, F Lydian, G Mixolydian, A Aeolian. See, these are all white keys. B Locrian. I always tell students I don't play like my Aunt Louise. A simple way to memorize the order of the modes. I don't play like my Aunt Louise. And then we're back to C major. Pretend like you have an aunt named Louise. She's phenomenal at piano, but you don't know how she does it. It's because she knows her modes. I don't play like my Aunt Louise. So if I go from C to C, that is Ionian. If I go from D to D, that is Dorian. Now, D Ionian would have F sharp and C sharp. That would be the key of D major. Again, we're talking about modes. This is D Dorian. See that? D Dorian corresponds or correlates with a D minor 7th chord. Let's see, Clark, I've heard the modes called church modes. Yes, there's a difference between church modes. We'll get into church modes, jazz modes. Melodic minor has always puzzled me why it's different ascending from descending. Truthfully, there was a king. If we get back into why some of this music theory was presented, and there was a noble family, and it sounded better to their ears to ascend and descend, going up and going down. Now, most of the music today, when it's in a minor key, we are using harmonic minor, where you take that 7th and go up and down. And that's because the 1, 4, 5, 5, 7, 1 chords are created from the harmonic minor scale. See that? The melodic minor scale, you really will only see it in classical music. Specifically, Baroque time periods, Mozart used a lot of the melodic because it's going up. So we're changing what we want, and it has a very classical sound, which is why you won't hear the melodic minor in modern day music. You will hear the harmonic minor That's the harmonic minor. Well, as you start referring to different modes, okay, church modes actually were different. And this goes back to, if we start talking about, see, I love the history of music theory. I'm a music nerd, I guess, if you want to say. I love reading about the history, reading about the theory, understanding. But see, there were certain notes, tones, and chords that if you composed music for the church, you could not actually use in your playing. A 6th chord and a 6th interval was not permitted. In a way, it was forbidden because they referred to it as Satan's chord. I mean, I'm just telling you what is really part of history, because it was the 6th. They preferred, the perfect 5th interval was the interval of nobility. So anytime you heard a royal procession and you heard the kings and the queens and you heard the trumpets and the horns, dun 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 dun. They were doing a perfect 5th interval because it was the noble interval. The triad, the 1, the 4, and the 5, they were the primary chords that were used, and they still are the primary chords because they were major. The 4th was preferred. This right here was not allowed at all. That's when we get into jazz and West Side Story, and we get into some of these, different sounds. The jazz, and we kind of got off topic from our 7th chords and the modes, but the 6th chord, when you're doing a boogie woogie, we're doing a 6th chord that we're breaking apart. Well, they did not like that, many different religions, because the 6th chord, of course, was thought of as like Satan's chord. Okay? The tritone. Good job, Clark. I didn't want to mention it. When he refers to the tritone, he's referring to this. See, here we have a perfect 4th. This is an augmented 4th. It's used in a lot of jazz music, the tritone. We'll save that for another day. But getting back to the 7th chords, when we are doing modal jazz, we are using the 7th chords. Here I'm in root position with all of these 7th chords. Here we have a C major 7th. Here we have a C minor 7th. Here we have a D major 7th. Here we have a D minor 7th. Here we have an E major 7th. Here we have an E minor 7th, F minor 7th, F major 7th. Well, I can then take the modes. Let's do C ionian, which is C major, combined with C dorian. So again, the major, remember, I don't play like my Aunt Louise. C ionian, D dorian, E phrygian, F Lydian, G mixolydian, A Aunt Aeolian, okay, B Locrian, back to C ionian. Well, I'm just going to do C ionian with D dorian. So it's going from a major 7th to a minor 7th. So watch, C major 7th, D minor 7th. Now I could go to a C minor 7th. How do I know what to play with my right hand? Do you remember how I said D minor 7th? The minor 7th corresponds or correlates with the Dorian mode. I don't. This is D Dorian. This is C Dorian. From your major scale, you just take your 3rd and your 7th intervals down half a step to create the Dorian mode. So if I'm in the key of D major, the D major scale would have an F sharp and a C sharp because F sharp and C sharp is in the key of D major. That happens to be my 3rd and my 7th. If I take my 3rd and my 7th down half a step and only play the white keys, this is D Dorian mode. I'm playing a D minor 7th chord with my left hand, and I'm playing D Dorian with the right hand. What if I played C minor 7th with my left hand? Then I could play from my C major scale, which is C Ionian. I'm going to take my 3rd and my 7th and go down half a step. I flat them. 3rd and 7th, I flat those. So now I'm playing C Dorian. This is according to the key of B flat major. This is C Dorian. I'm starting from C and going to C, and I'm playing a C minor 7th chord with my left hand, C, E flat, G, B flat. I could go to D Dorian. I could go to E Dorian. Here I have an E minor chord in the key of E major. I have these sharps in the key of E major. We have F sharp, we have C sharp, we have G sharp, we have D sharp in the key of E major. So in the key of E major, I have 4 sharps. Well, if I take my 3rd, my 6th, and my 7th, if I go down half a step with those, then this is going to create my Aeolian mode. See, anytime if I went back to, let's go back to A down here. See this? Natural minor relative to C major. This is A minor. Well, I took my 3rd, my 6th, and my 7th down half a step from the key of A major. I took my 3rd, 6th, and 7th down half a step. That's Aeolian mode. So if I'm in the key of E major, I can take my 3rd, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 3, 6, 7. Take those down, and now this is E minor, relative minor to G major. Now remember, here we took the 3rd, 6th, and 7th down half a step. If I wanted to only do a Dorian mode, Dorian, 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 I would then just take the 3rd and 7th down half a step. That's how I created D Dorian. So if I'm in the key of E major, where I have these 4 sharps, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Well, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. If I take those down, now this is E Dorian. It's as if I'm in the key of D major. See, this is D Ionian, D major. This is E Dorian. D Dorian, F Dorian, E Dorian, E flat Dorian, D Dorian, C Dorian, D Dorian, C Dorian. Okay, this is confusing. I'll have to watch a video a few more times to make sense of it. I don't want it to be too confusing. I'm giving you a lot of information. All you have to think about, there's a lot involved with this. All I want you to think about is to play a minor 7th chord with your left hand. If I have C minor 7th, I have C, E flat, G, B flat. So instead of playing C major scale with my right hand, I'm going to take the 3rd and the 7th and go down half a step. See that? E and B go down half a step. There's my 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Just take those down half a step. That's a C Dorian mode. Here I have D Dorian. Well, the key of D major, from your major scale, you take the 3rd and 7th down half a step. If I'm in the key of F major, in the key of F, I have 1 flat. It's a B flat. Well, what are my 3 and 7? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 3 and 7 would be A and E. If I play the flats with those, this becomes F Dorian. The left hand is just playing a minor 7th chord. So F minor 7th, E minor 7th, C minor 7th. Left hand plays a minor 7th, right hand plays Dorian mode. So if I'm playing C minor 7th with my left hand, I will play C Dorian mode with my right hand. If I play D minor 7th with the left hand, I will play D minor 7th with the right hand. Okay? If I play E minor 7th with my left hand, I will play E Dorian with my right hand. If I play F minor 7th with my left hand, I will play F Dorian with my right hand. And that's all I'm doing. Minor 7th chord with my left hand, and you can, if you want to start off with, only do the minor pentascale. The first 5 notes, so think of a C minor triad, and then you go up a whole step from C, and you go down a whole step from G. This is the C minor pentascale. It's the first 5 notes of the C Dorian mode. See that? You can just start and just do the first 5. D minor 7th with the D minor pentascale. In my book, Essential Piano Exercises, we actually have all of the pentascales written out. So we do all major pentascales, all minor pentascales, all diminished pentascales in every key, following the circle of fifths. And we play them as quarter notes, play them as eighth notes. And then we get into all of the key signatures. And then we start going through all of the scales, all of the triads, all of the octave chords, in every key, in every inversion. This really is kind of like a musician's Bible is what it is, Essential Piano Exercises. But it goes through all of the chords in every key, in every inversion. You know, from major, minor, diminished, augmented, sus, sus2, sus4. Go into all of the sixth, major, minor. Go into all of the seventh, you know, dominant seventh, major seventh, major seventh, dominant seventh, diminished seventh, half diminished seventh, minor 7 flat the fifth, minor 7 sharp the fifth. We go into all of these different chords in every key within this book, and all I'm doing is I'm taking the minor 7th chord. With the right hand, I'm playing the Dorian mode. See that? That's all I'm doing. And then I can start to improvise and play around with that. So if I were to take Up on the Housetop, I'm going to play the 7th chords. Now I could play it in Dorian mode. I don't want to confuse people. You can take every song and you can play it not only in every key, but in every mode. That may be a bit too much information for everyone. Let's see, Ellington Lever, for the first time in my life, I get it. Thanks. Perfect. I'm glad that is helping. You can take any song, you can play it in any key signature, and you can play it in any mode in any key signature. I could take Twinkle Twinkle Little Star, and I could play that in any key. I'm just going up in half steps through every key signature. And I could start to do minor, diminished. We could go through and change it. But then I could also take it and play I Don't Play Like My Aunt Louise and play it in a mode. So this is Twinkle Twinkle Little Star in key of C. Think Ionian mode. If I shift everything to the right, now I'm in D Dorian mode. So now watch. This is Twinkle Twinkle Little Star in the key of C major, but now we are in D Dorian mode. I could shift everything to the right again. I'm still in the key of C major because I'm not using any sharps or flats. But now I don't play. I'm playing Twinkle Twinkle Little Star in the key of C major in E Phrygian mode. I don't play. I don't play like. Now I'm in Lydian. I don't play like. That's Twinkle Twinkle Little Star in the key of C major in Lydian mode. Key of C major, but now we're G Mixolydian mode. See, I'm only playing the white keys. Aeolian mode. Locrian mode. Back to Ionian mode. See, we're doing I don't play like my Aunt Louise, and we're just playing the modes. In that instance, Clark, I was using triads. So you can use the triads. If I wanted to use seventh chords, now I'm only doing root position here. I could do these chords in a different inversion. See, when jazz musicians are improvising, they really know their theory. And they have trained their ears to hear, but also they understand theory-wise what they are doing with the music. If I went to, going back to Up on the Housetop, what we initially started with, from my book 100 Left-Hand Patterns on page 61, Up on the Housetop, if I take that and I do modal jazz, I could just start to improvise like this. Now we could start to put it into a mode. See, modes create different moods. It's a simple way to think about it. If you want to change the mood of a song, you can change the mode. The two main moods that we are taught from the time we were little and start playing the piano is Ionian, which is major, and Aeolian, which is minor. But we're not really taught the other modes. We really should teach them early on. In my new book coming out very, very soon, Essential Jazz Piano Exercises, and this is going to be just as thick as this big beast. See how thick this book is? This is coming out. It will be up on Amazon this week, that people will be able to purchase on Amazon. It will also be those who are already members of the Essential Piano Exercise course. That PDF will be up this week within the course, and then I'll need to start filming videos where I'm teaching how to do everything. That will come a little bit later. We may wait until after the holidays to start filming all of those videos. But we're doing jazz. We're taking the theory and we're actually explaining it in a very simple, easy to understand way, and trying to help you understand if you have a major seventh, you can play a major scale. If you have a minor seventh, you can play a Dorian mode. And we can go through all of the different ones, C major seventh, And if you notice, I'm just moving my pinky up according to the C major scale. See that? My pinky. Watch what my pinky does. The pinky is where we are leading. Now everything is evenly spaced according to the notes from the C major scale. So I have C major 7th, then I have D minor 7th, then I have E minor 7th, then I have F 7th, then I have F major 7th, sorry, I have to catch myself, F major 7th, and then I have G 7th, and then I have A minor 7th, and then I have B minor 7 flat the 5th. See, this is B major 7th, this is my B 7th, this is B minor 7th, and then if I flat my 5th note right here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, this is B minor 7 flat the 5th. And then we're back to C major 7th. Well, C major 7th goes with C ionian. D minor 7th goes with D dorian. E minor 7th goes with E phrygian. F major 7th goes with my F Lydian. Remember, I don't play like. G dominant 7th goes with G mixolydian. A minor 7th goes with Aeolian. Then B minor 7 flat to 5th goes with B Locrian. And then we're in the key of back to C Ionian again. And we can do that in every key. See, I'm just going up, playing all of the modes in every key. And we can do it in any key. We're just playing the modes built from every single tone of the scale. Now, I know it may be confusing for some people, and I apologize because you've never heard it before. It's been around for a very, very long time. The modes, okay? But this is something fun you can practice, and you can try it just moving up, playing 7th chords according to the C major scale. And then with the right hand, shift, so everything slides over. Remember, D minor 7th with D dorian, and then just try to improvise. And then shift, everything slides over. Shift, everything slides over. Shift, everything slides over. Shift, everything slides over. Everything slides over. Everything slides over again. We're back to C major, C ionian. Let me change the camera. Hopefully that was not too confusing. I tried to make it as simple as possible, but it's new for a lot of people because they've never learned the modes before. Modal jazz is something you can play around with. Modes are used all the time. Composers who are creating soundtrack scores, musicals, Broadway, you name it, a lot of times they're using the modes to do it. Now, it may sound like Greek to a lot of people because Ionian, Dorian, Phrygian, Lydian, Mixolydian, Aeolian, Locrian, those are Greek terms. If you go back to ancient Greece, okay, Ionian columns, the Dorian columns, the architecture, if you look at the architecture, those were names. Well, Ionian, Dorian, these actually go back to small city-states, there were a group of people who lived in, they were called Ionians. There were Dorians. There were Phrygians. There were Lydians. Okay? So as the musicians started going through and assigning these, back when Pope Gregory was setting up the school and they were collecting and they were trying to put together some organization, they were paying honor or homage to these ancient Greek societies. And it sounds like Greek, when people say, I've never heard of Ionian, Dorian, Phrygian, Lydian, Mixolydian, Aeolian, Locrian. They've never heard of these terms. It's because they honestly haven't studied these terms. And most of the music that we are taught from the time we were little, they're doing major scales and minor scales. And we hear those. Well, the major scale is Ionian, and the minor scale is Aeolian. But those are the only ones they teach you. They don't teach the other ones. The other ones add so much more color and depth. And when you hear a jazz musician improvising or playing around, that is what he is doing. It's just he or she, they're improvising using modes. So I'm going to end. We went a little longer today. I apologize. I was rambling on and trying to explain it in such a way where it wasn't as confusing. If I confused anyone, I apologize. But let me read from my book, Poetry That Motivates. I'm going to read a poem, just as a nice little inspirational, motivational message. So this is from my poetry book, Poetry That Motivates. I have, my other poetry book is The As-If Principle. You can find those on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, wherever you like to shop, if you are interested in reading any of my poetry. But I want to share this. This is from the book, Poetry That Motivates, and it is titled, Children Dream of Many Things. Let me read this to you. It says this: children dream of many things. Little children often dream of many things. Of fairies and flying and kites with strings. Of flowers and forests and the ocean shore. Of 1,001 fancies of which they never will bore. As children grow older, their dreams often change. No longer satisfied with flying and kites and strings, they set their sights on grander things. They long to succeed, to accomplish and grow. They ponder and work and learn and know a little about life and a lot about pain, from the day-to-day struggles of loss and gain. These children become adults with work and life. They hustle about, dealing with heartache and strife, and the troublesome times that always come to the many who worry, and not just the some. Life takes its tolls, and these souls tire soon, while their children grow older and hum a new tune. As mature adults, aged by time, their minds return to simpler times. As these grown-up children dream of many things, and these grown-up children dream of many things, of fairies and flying and kites with strings, of flowers and forests and the ocean shore, of 1,001 fancies of which they never will bore. They urge their children and their children's children to fly with fairies and dream of things, but most do not listen, and most do not care, for they have given up on flying and kites with strings. Children, please listen and hear my hopeful words. Fairies do exist. Just ask the birds. Follow your dreams and open your heart. You can accomplish anything if you simply start. Begin and do, finish and follow through. Children of all ages, please dream of many things, of fairies and flying and kites with strings, of flowers and forests and the ocean shore, of 1,001 fancies of which you never will bore. So that is a poem I wrote a few years ago titled Children Dream of Many Things. So that is from my book, Poetry That Motivates. But let's see. Christine, longer was okay today. Perfect. I'm glad it was okay today. Some of these, sometimes I get long-winded. I am long-winded, and sometimes I'll just keep explaining because I try to explain and help individuals understand what I'm teaching because I want you to know the theory, but I want you to know how to apply it. I want you to understand how all these little pieces and parts are put together to create music. So hopefully this helped. If you have any questions, leave a comment. Let me know what you would like to learn in upcoming videos. We're only doing this for another week, week and a half, I think, and then we'll go to our subscription-based program where those who have purchased the course or those who subscribe to the monthly subscription, they'll be able to continue to access videos. We won't do daily videos just because I have several new books and albums I'm going to be coming out with, but we will do at least 1, 2, or possibly 3 videos per week that we will be doing within the subscription. So I'm excited about that. Plus, I don't want to give you long daily video lessons like this anyway, because I want to give you time to go and practice what I teach in each of these video lessons. If you'd like to learn more about my Essential Piano Exercise course, go to essentialpianoexercises.com. You can learn more about joining the course. I have had so much fun creating this course, and I'm continuing to create this course. I've had people who have said, oh, well, I'd like to join when the course is complete and finished. I already have 27 music books within this course, and then I'm going through and I have, I think, 10 additional books I'm adding, and we have hundreds of videos that I have filmed and that I am going to be filming. I don't know if this course will truly be finished. I keep adding more and more, but it's a one-time payment. If you'd like to join the course, go to essentialpianoexercises.com. I would love to have you learn more about the course, but let me know what you'd like to learn in an upcoming video. I'd love to teach you. Today, we were talking about modes, Modal Jazz, but I'm excited for this book this week. It's coming up. It'll be on Amazon, and later today or tomorrow, it will be up within the course, Essential Jazz Piano Exercises. For everyone who has purchased the course, the PDF book will be available in just a few days. So I'm excited about that. And then I'll start filming the videos for that. And then I start working on Essential New Age Piano Exercise. And that will be as thick as this book, as thick as both of these books. Once I finish Essential New Age Piano Exercises in a month or two, then I will start working on Essential Pop Piano Exercises. And then I will work on Essential Rock Piano Exercises. And all of those books will be uploaded within the course. So anyone who has purchased the course or will purchase the course, you'll have access to all of those PDF books, plus all of the video lessons that I will film for each of those books. So leave a comment. I would love to know what you are learning, what you are working on, what you need help with, but also how you've been helped with this course. If you are a member of the course, leave a comment. Let me know what you are learning, what you're working on, and what I can do to help you learn music theory the fun way. I refer to it as piano fundamentals. So thank you guys for watching. Hope you guys have a great rest of your week and have fun working on these exercises. Let's see. Oh, Ellington Lover, can't wait for the jazz book. I'm excited for you guys to start working on this jazz book. It has a lot of jazz pieces and a lot of jazz exercises. And I mean, it's a thick book. It will keep you going for a long time. At least long enough for me to come out with Essential New Age Piano Exercises, then Essential Pop Piano Exercises, then Essential Rock Piano Exercises, and all the other books I'm coming out with within the course. So thanks for watching. Hope you guys have a great day. All right. See you. Bye.